The final Smoking Guns event has been out a few days now at the time of writing this script, and after playing it just enough to get the free rewards, it's made me realize something. This game gives way too much liberty to the player. Now you might be thinking, Mook, I like to be able to play in any way I see fit. It allows me to express myself through gameplay or simply allows me to relax and not worry about the meta when I play quick play. Okay, hear me out. What's the biggest difference in playing this event versus the normal game modes? That's a rhetorical question. It's that you get to be a cowboy, obviously. In all seriousness, it's the gadgets and the specializations. These two things are a problem, and a really big one too. But first, let's take a look at the average team compositions to see why gadgets and specializations are such a big problem in this game. Okay, I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack for some of my opinions in this video, and I'm fully prepared for that. But if there's one thing we can all agree upon, it's that it should not be possible for an entire team to have the ability to instantly revive and focus heal. It's too overpowered, and at the very least makes some gunfights go on for way too long. It boils down to which team has more stamina, and last I checked, this isn't Dark Souls. But this game has potential to be as big as Dark Souls. Now you might think that I'm going to talk about medium, medium, heavy, and heavy, heavy, medium comps, but I don't need to, because with one change to matchmaking, it would completely eliminate the problem I discussed with triple mediums.
Add a roll queue.
I have no idea why they didn't do this from the beginning. It's not like you can change what class you are mid-game, so once you've made your choice, you have to live with it anyways. I'm just proposing that we make that choice from the mode selection screen. Sure, stacking up multiples of the same class is fun from time to time, and it's even the meta all the time, but this game was designed around team play and for each class to balance each other out by providing a strength where the other ones show weaknesses. They almost did this perfectly. Medium has jump pads and zip lines providing mobility for the entire team. Heavy has shields along with a bigger hitbox providing protection, and light is light's fun. Just kidding, of course. Light is just as valuable, providing recon and ridiculous amounts of suppression with stun gun and glitch grenade. Don't worry, we'll talk about the former in a minute. Now, in order for roll queue to work, we have to take a look at each class to see what truly sets them apart from one another. I want to look at what I believe to be the core purpose of each class, and then what gadgets support that purpose. Before we start, I want to list a couple things I think should be removed from the game entirely. Number one, C4. Breach charge already exists, and let's be honest, the explosion this thing makes is way too abrasive. Number two, tracking dart. To be honest, I completely forgot this thing existed. It's pointless. Get it out of here. Well, unless you add something that homes in on the targeted player, but that's a really bad idea and will probably piss everybody off. Third, recon senses.
What the hell?
Why is this in the game? This concept should have never been thought of for a PvP game. Maybe something like this could be used for Arc Raiders. Oh wait, that's not a PvE game anymore. Number four, motion sensor. Sonar grenades already exist and work way better. Besides, this item promotes camping, which if you're already inside a building holding a cash out, you probably have shields up and already have an advantage to begin with. Lastly, the stun gun. This thing is so annoying and not fun to play against, and as a light main, I would love to see it disappear because I shouldn't have to feel like I'm throwing if I'm not using it. Oh, and no two classes will share the same gadgets, so let's get into it. Lights are like your standard DPS. I think most people would say that role belongs to medium, but I disagree. Think Tracer or Scout from TF2. So if light is our main damage dealer, what gadgets should they have? I think light should have access to every grenade except for the goo grenade. This means no other class gets these grenades and makes it so that not every light you run into is running the same loadout. Stun gun, glitch grenade. Spoiler, you're going to notice a pattern with what I just said. On top of the grenades, I think light should have thermal vision, same as before. I think with these changes, people might actually use it. Lastly, two small changes to invis should make it more balanced and encourage players to use it correctly. Just make it so when a player is disengaged from invis, they have a small window of the ability being disabled before they can use it again. This gets rid of the walking up to someone, one-shotting them just to go invis immediately, and no one on your team can find them, especially if the invis light is third-party. Second thing, the visibility of players while invis needs to be addressed. I think making it so that players that are moving are much easier to see while they're invis. Also, we have got to do something about invis lights on top of roofs, because if the sky is behind them, you're not going to see them unless they have a sniper and you can see the glint. That needs to be addressed. It's super annoying. Lastly, for light, this is something I believe should be reflected across all 3 classes, but with light, you shouldn't be able to have the invis special and the invis bomb in the same loadout, so no more doubling up on abilities. Okay, here's the fun one, and the one where I'm probably going to make a lot of people very angry. So feel free to express your anger in the comments. I would greatly appreciate the engagement. The way I see medium right now in the game is inherently flawed. If 3 stacking one particular class is meta, then something is not right with that class. Medium right now can do way too much. I mean, you have turrets, defib, mobility items, healing beams, and can see through walls. I think it's pretty obvious that this class is by far and away the strongest one in the game. A lot of people think that's heavy, but I disagree. The changes I'm proposing for this class are going to help shape a more clear identity. As of right now, medium is kind of bland and feels a lot like Soldier 76 from Overwatch, a sort of jack-of-all-trade types. I find this to be very boring and can't help but to roll my eyes every time I see a medium running the F-car with defib and healing beam or recon sense. I think medium should be focused mostly on providing support to the other 2 classes, not dealing damage. Not to say that they can't deal damage and get high amounts of kills, but to start, mediums can keep everything they have except for the mines. I don't think medium works as a trap setter. There are 2 things I would like to give medium, and I think that they would really shake up the playstyle of this class. First thing is the breach charge. The main reason I think this item works best on the medium is speed, or lack thereof. No light uses it because, why would they? It announces where they're coming from and requires them to hold a position. 2 things medium should have no problem with. This allows mediums to make openings not only for themselves, but for the entire team. Now, the second gadget I would like to give to the medium class would be the goo grenade. This gives medium the ability to bolster defenses on cash outs and plug the holes they made with their newly acquired breaching device. Okay. This last one is something I have thought about quite a lot and is a major reason as to why I'm making this video in the first place. Alright, so right off the top, I don't see any way to nerf either of these items without really hurting their functionality. So to go with the whole not doubling up on abilities thing, well, you can only have one. I mean, if you think about it, this really opens up players' loadouts and kind of forces them to be a little more creative and team-oriented. And look, I'm not a medium hater, I'm a heavy hater. So I'm not trying to take away the ability to have really high kill games as a medium, or those clutch moments when you revive a teammate and that makes the difference between winning and losing. I just want to reduce the overall oppressiveness that even the lowest skilled mediums tend to have. In my opinion, you either do this or turn the class into a full-on healer and significantly reduce its damage output, because right now medium can just do way too much across the board on top of the crazy amount of healing this class puts out. Alright, last but not least, the morbidly obese. This class's role is pretty obvious. You have 2 jobs. Protect your kid brothers and blow stuff up. It's not that difficult. I don't want to change anything about the identity of this class, and honestly, the only thing it really needs is some tweaks to the rocket launcher and the damage that the charge and slam does. So, with the only items left in limbo being the mines from the medium class, they will go to the heavy. Heavy works great as a trap setter because he is at his strongest on defense. Now, this is partly due to all of the shields he has, and this is something I would love to make a change to. You should not be able to equip all 3 or even 2 simultaneously. Why is that even possible? It's bad enough you have to fight the Blob from X-Men. What's even worse is he has guns and explosives. Add 3 different types of shields to that, and I don't want to play anymore. Okay, honestly, I don't see all of these changes, if any, getting implemented into the game at all. However, I really do believe this game would benefit greatly from them. I put a lot of thought into this, and obviously, I'm not a game developer, nor do I ever plan to be, so there's probably plenty of room for correction and improvement. I would love to see what everyone thinks about what I've come up with and discuss it with you all in the comments, as this is the sort of thing I really love to talk about. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of really good ideas as well, so please leave them below. Most of all, thank you to everyone who watches this video. It's taken a really long time to write the script, and it will probably take even longer to edit. I have no idea if season 2 will be out before I upload this video, but when it does drop, I plan on going over what's changed and improved, hopefully. And who knows, maybe the changes that do come in season 2 could completely fix all the issues I have with this game. You never know. Lastly, I'm not the kind of creator to upload about every little change with the finals, but I really do love this game and I will be making content for it regularly. So if that's something that you're interested in, I don't know, consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, you know? I heard a rumor that it helps with global warming.